I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the German Darts Grand Prix runner-up, Martin Lukeman. Thanks for the time, Martin. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Doing well, thank you. And firstly, it's been a few days now since you run to the final in Munich. Have you had a chance yet to let your achievements from the weekend sink in?
I have, but then again, I haven't as much because obviously I've been busy going to our wedding and stuff. But I reckon I'll be thinking a lot more in the next few days.
Come back to the weekend just gone later, but let's rewind back to the start for you in darts. We saw you win a title on the Challenge Tour in 2015, but before then, when did it all start for you in darts?
It probably weren't too far, maybe 3 years before that, 2 years before that. Playing in local pub leagues in Hayes and Wolfholt and them places.
You were a fairly late starter to the game. What got you into playing darts?
I remember watching, I can't remember who it was. There was a player playing on a BDO, and I've got a dartboard put up in my room, and I always had a chuck on it, maybe for an hour a day or half hour a day. And then a couple of my pals said, "Look, we're going darts tonight." I ended up playing for their team, and it sort of progressed from there.
You entered the second weekend of the Challenge Tour season in 2015. What was it that persuaded you to make that trip to Wigan and give the Challenge Tour a go?
Well, I had a sponsor at the time, and I thought I was good enough. So I sort of went over there. I thought, let's try my luck. Let's see how good I really am. And for a while, I was competing, and then I think there's a lack of practice and love for the game. I sort of fell out of it a bit.
Well, we should mention that title that you did have later that year, winning a Challenge Tour title. I think you dropped just 3 legs on the way to the quarterfinals. You beat Ryan Searle in the semi-finals, Kirk Shepherd in the final. What are your memories of that day?
Yeah, I was over the moon that day. Obviously, my first EDC title. It made me feel like I belonged a bit. And I thought, I'll maybe have a future in this game. And we said about Ryan Searle when he beat me in the semi-finals back in the last year in the Grand Tour. He mentioned that. He goes out to that challenge tour.
Well, we saw you then play Q School 2016-2017, but a run I wanted to mention was the UK Open 2017, getting to the last 16. You'd obviously played the UK Open qualifiers that year as well. How much did you take away from those 2 weekends heading to Munich, because you picked up a few wins those weekends?
Yeah, I've always known about the game in me, but I don't know, I felt like, I don't know if I didn't put enough effort in, or I fell out of love with the game, but I wasn't really sure I put my finger on it. But I always knew I had the talent, so I could always play really good darts. But I don't know.
Certainly showed it that weekend in Minehead on the Friday, coming through 2 last leg deciders. You beat Chris Dobie to make the last 16, then you lost out to Ian White. But how much did that run mean to you at the time?
Oh, at the time, yeah, it was brilliant. I didn't have a lot of money at the time, even just that extra few quid went a long way. And just being in the top tier darts with the best players in the world, I did want to have some of that.
We then see you play Q School 2018-2019. I'm guessing you mentioned there you lost a bit of love for the game. Is that why you weren't on the list of entries for Q School 2020?
Yes. Well, I actually got back. I felt I should give this game another go when it was just before the first lockdown. I put a board up. I saw the World Championships. I put a board up. I went to 3 or 4 UK qualifiers, but I ended up losing the 2 finals. To get out, I lost to Jason Heaver and Jason Haskell in 2 different finals. That was the Riley's qualifiers. And I thought to myself, I'm going to give this a go again. I thought, right, I'm practicing well. I thought, I'm going to have one more go at this. But then we went into lockdown for a year. So I spent the whole year playing online darts, and Q School come around, and my friend said, "Look, I'll put you forward for it," because he was actually at the second UK Open qualifier that I got into the final of. Now, he saw how good I was. He said, "Look, I'll put you forward," and then I went to Q School and got my tour card, and the rest is history.
What a story! Yeah, I mean, Q School, it gets the green light in 2021. I know there was a few times over the months before that we weren't sure if it was going to get the go ahead, but it did, and we had the 2 stages for the first time. You lost out in the last 4 on one of those final days. I think the first day to Kirk Shepherd. How did you feel at the end of that first day? Because a lot of points on the board, but was it hard to get over coming so close, or were you confident you would go on and get the card?
The preschool, I wasn't playing very well, and I only just scraped through with 4 points, I think it was. I think I had to play Anastasia to get through. And but then John Stott wasn't the first of players, and it hung out with him, and he got us on a practice region that night, and every day for a Q school, and it done me the world of good, because I played brilliant.
2 last 16s in the next 2 days after the final, that gets you that tour card on the order merit with a day to spare. What was that feeling like when you found out that you'd done enough, you wouldn't have to come back for that final day?
Oh, well, I didn't actually know until about 9, 10 o'clock at night. I was outside, and one of the PDC officials came out and goes, "What are you still doing here? You got your tour card?" And I goes, "Oh, have I?" Because I live in Watford, the Milton Keynes only half hour away. I phoned the wife out and said, "Come get me." I've come home, and she said, grabbed me, and I went home. I was knackered. 6 days of darts non-stop. It was hard work.
We should give a mention to your wife, Mel, as well, who's also your manager. What's it like having your partner as a manager? It's worked pretty well for Peter Wright so far.
She's a joint manager. But yeah, she does brilliant. She's my backbone at the moment.
My co-host on this podcast, Bert, and I, we were looking back at your weekend in Munich, but also your 2021, your first year on the tour, and Bert mentioned how you were quite unlucky, really, with the draws on the floor last year. How did you reflect on that first year as we turned the page on 2021?
The first half, maybe 3 quarters of the year, I felt like I lost a lot of 6-5s against brilliant players. And I thought, look, I'm not getting battered here. Maybe I'm getting the luck of the green, or I just need to knock my average up 5 points, maybe 7 points. Maybe finish a bit better. There was a lot of little niggles. And back in the last year, I started playing a bit better. And then over that Christmas, I thought, right, this is it. And I started putting the hours on the dartboard. I started putting the graft in. I quit my job. Thought, right, I'm going to give this a proper go. It's my last year. This is all or nothing. And it's working at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely is. I was going to mention, we get to the end of 2021, there is a long break for players between those last Players' Championships, Ali Pali, and then the first Players' Championships. So those 2 or 3 months, was it full-on practice? You quit the job and that was it? You were going to commit fully to this year?
Yeah, I was going to commit 100% this year. I thought this was bust or go. Obviously, I lost out on the World Championship by a few quid. I missed 3 events. For COVID, I got a stomach bug for the World Championship qualifiers. It was just like, back in the last year, it just felt like everything was going against me. My European got cancelled, which I played the first one this year in Restart. I was just like, but I just thought, I'm going to knuckle down, quit the job, I'm going to give this a proper go.
Going off Darts Oracle, they've got your average going up by 3 points from last year to this year already. Is there one game in particular or one day this year where you felt it all click, or do you think it's something that's built gradually as the year's gone on so far?
I'm not sure. I think I changed my points. I had one game, the first total game, I played Jim Williams. And I think I had about 7 or 8 bounce outs in the games. And my friend Richie Edhouse, I sit with, he gave me some points to use. They were double the length of my normal points. I put them in, and I think it changed my game a hell of a lot. And I just got really confident with my darts. And I think it just went from there. The results started going my way. And I started darts, you need confidence in darts, or it's a hard battle. And I got just remember changes, I think.
Before we get on to Munich, we have to mention Hildesheimer a few weeks ago in that game with Damon Heta. You averaged 104, he averaged 108, you win it 6-5. How much confidence did you take from a game like that, especially on the stage as well?
Oh, that was probably I think that is my best performance in the PDC so far. I played better than that, but not on the PDC, And yeah, that was absolutely awesome. I loved it. Damon's an absolute gentleman as well.
Yeah, we're seeing you two built up quite a rivalry already this year, and that brings us on to the weekend just gone. Wins over Adam Gavlas, Gabriel Clemens, Keane Barry takes you into the quarterfinals, that final session. How are you feeling heading into that final session?
Oh, I was nervous, but I was well up for it.
You then come through 2 corkers with Martin Schindler and Damon Heta, who you mentioned, to reach the final. As you're waiting to find out who you're going to play in that final, what's going through your head as you get ready to play in a final of a European tour?
I went downstairs. I took a minute to myself. I just chilled out. I went upstairs and I saw Luke was winning 5-0 or something, and I was thinking, wow. So I got my bits and pieces, my earphones and stuff, and I went straight to the practice room to try and practice it again, but I was knackered. That's one thing I did learn on that is I'm going to have to take, if I'm have them long runs on the European Tour, you got to pace yourself. They are long days.
Matthew Kiernan, who you know, he helps us out with interviews on this show, and he said to ask you about playing Luke Humphries in an Open in the past. Can you recall that occasion?
Yeah, I did play Luke. It's funny because actually my nickname was Cool Man Luke. And I played Luke on the Challenge Tour, and he just changed his name to Cool Hand Luke. And obviously we had very similar. It might have been something else. I'm sure it was a Challenge Tour. I'm not 100% sure. And we said, right, whoever wins this match gets to keep the name. And he beat me. And he just done me in another final. I'll get him. Yeah. He's a good lad, Lukey boy.
Yeah, you've known each other a long time. And your new nickname, Smash, where did that come from?
I think the wife made it up, really. Smash. I've got like a whole tattoo on my arm and that. I don't know, it just happened, I think.
And although the final with Luke, it didn't go your way, we did see the crowd show their support for you, the run that you had at the weekend, and it could open a lot of doors for you now into a lot of the majors, the match play, the World, the European Championship. Have you allowed yourself a moment to think about that?
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about that. I don't want to think about it too much. This year, in my head still, it's just mission keep my tour guard. It's not done yet, and that is all I'm aiming for, is to keep my tour guard this year. Whatever else comes, I'll take one match at a time. Everything's a bonus at the moment. I'm playing well. I've just got to keep that mindset. As soon as I start overthinking stuff will go wrong.
Well, we should mention your walk-on as well. I'm partial to a bit of Scar, so your walk-on Lip Up Fatty, that's one of my favourites on the tour. Are you a Scar fan yourself? Was it a hard choice to pick that one?
I've just always had that song, to be fair. County and stuff like that. And I'm quite a big boy myself.
Yeah. Well, we enjoyed the belly dance on stage at the weekend too. Was that just a one-off, or do you think that's going to become your trademark on your walk-on? Would you do it at the Winter Garden?
I'm not going to do it all the time, but I may think about doing it now and again. I've done it at county stages and little tournaments and stuff like that. I don't know, it just happened. I didn't plan to do it. I had a load of the German boys bigging me up, obviously after the Schindler match against the hair. I had a lot of German fans in there after that, and they were sort of egging me on.
Good stuff. And you mentioned it there, really, the main goal for you is still to get into that top 64 at the end of the year, keep your tour card. Is that all the focus still, even with all the attention?
That's my plan this year, is just getting that top 64, and then next year I can start thinking about other stuff. But this year is my second year now, and I really don't want to go back to Q School. See, it's hard. It don't matter what playing is chopped down there. Very, very rare do you come back up straight away. It's so hard.
Well, Martin, you're doing a great job in keeping that tour card based on what you've done already this year. So congratulations on the run in Germany, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the year.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on that.